Welcome, dear friends, to a world where dreams intertwine with reality, and the imagination knows no bounds. Tonight, we embark on a journey into the depths of the night, guided by the soft whispers of our storytelling. Close your eyes and let the gentle cadence of our words carry you away to a realm of tranquility. As we weave tales of heroes and villains, of courage and adversity, allow yourself to become lost in the magic of the moment. Picture a land where ancient artifacts hold the key to prosperity, guarded by stalwart protectors who rise to the challenge in times of need. When darkness threatens to engulf the land, these heroes must embark on daring quests to restore balance and hope to their world. Tonight, as we join our unnamed hero on their noble quest, let go of the worries that weigh heavy on your heart, and embrace the peace that surrounds you. Listen to the melody of the night as it sings of adventure and triumph, and allow yourself to be swept away by the currents of imagination. So, my dear listeners, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let the journey begin. Welcome to our sanctuary of storytelling, where each tale is a gateway to a world of wonder and possibility. Taurus the Protector. Chapter 1. The Guardian of Prosperity in the Realm of Redantia, where the earth whispered secrets to those who would listen. The fragile legend is old as time itself. It was the legend of the bull's amulet, a talisman of immense power, forged from the heart of the earth during the world's infancy. This amulet, shaped in the likeness of a great bull, the symbol of strength and fertility, was imbued with the essence of prosperity. It was said that as long as the amulet remained within the heart of Redantia, the land would flourish. Crops would yield bountiful harvest, rivers would burn with clear water, and peace would envelop the realm. The guardianship of the bull's amulet was a sacred duty passed down through generations, from one protector to the next. These protectors were chosen by the amulet itself, a bond formed in the ethereal glow of destiny. The chosen one would be granted strength surpassing that of ordinary men, wisdom to govern justly, and the loyalty of the land's creatures. Under the vigilant watch of these guardians, Redantia had thrived, untouched by famine or strife. A jewel of prosperity shining brightly in a world where such treasures were rare. Yet, as is the way of precious things, the amulet inspired not only awe and reverence but envy. Dark whispers began to spread across the lands beyond, tales of Redantia's jewel and the power it held. It was these whispers that would set the stage for a night that would forever alter the course of Redantia's destiny. A night when shadows would stretch their fingers towards the heart of the realm. But on the eve of darkness, the land basked in the light of prosperity, unaware of the looming threat. Children played in the fields, their laughter a melody carried by the wind, while the farmers looked upon their lands with pride. In the great hall, the current guardian of the amulet, a hero by the name of Taurus, sat in quiet contemplation. Strong of will and kind of heart, Taurus was chosen by the amulet in his youth, marked by the celestial dance of stars on the night of his naming. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and red, Taurus felt a stir and unease that whispered of change to come. He stood, gazing out upon the land he had sworn to protect, unaware that this night would be remembered as the beginning of a legend, a tale of Taurus the Protector, and his quest to serve the heart of Redantia. In the fading light, the stage was set for the tale of the bull's amulet, a story of bravery, darkness, and the unyielding strength of the spirit. And as the first star blinked into existence in the twilight sky, the threads of destiny began to weave the epic of Taurus, a tale that would echo through the ages. In the heart of Redantia, under the watchful gaze of ancient oaks, in the eternal dance of the stars, the story of Taurus began. born to a humble family on the outskirts of the realm. His life was as ordinary as any child could wish for, filled with laughter, love, and the simple joys of rural life. Yet, destiny has a way of marking its own, and Taurus was no exception. From an early age, he displayed an affinity for the natural world, an unspoken bond with the earth and its creatures, a sign of the greatness that lay within him. As Taurus grew, so did his strength and wisdom, surpassing that of his peers in both body and spirit. It was during the harvest festival, on a night illuminated by the full moon's silver light, that the amulet called to him. The elders, keepers of Redemption's lore and wisdom, gathered, sensing the shift in the winds of fate. They watched as Taurus, drawn by a force beyond his understanding, approached the sacred grove where the amulet lay hidden. The ceremony of the guardianship was as old as the amulet itself, a pact between the land and its chosen protector. As Taurus entered the grove, the air shimmered with ancient magic. The amulet, sensing the purity and strength of its new guardian, glowed with irradiant light, enhancing Taurus in a cloak of power. The elders whispered the sacred oaths, and Taurus, his voice steady, vowed to protect Vergentia and its people with his life. In that moment, chapter in the tale of the bull's amulet began, with Taurus at its heart. Under Taurus's guardianship, Verdanta flourished as never before. The bond between the land and its protector strengthened. Weaving a magic that permeated every corner of the realm, parts grew tall and richer. The rivers sang with clearer voices, and the people found a peace they had not known. Tartarus, with the wisdom granted by the amulet, ruled justly and well, loved by all who called Verdentia home. Yet for all the joy and prosperity, a shadow grew in the heart of Taurus. He knew the legends, the tales of those who would seek the amulet for their own dark desires. His strength was not just a gift, but a duty, to stand against the darkness that would come. And come it did, on a night when the stars hid their faces, and the moon turned its back on the land. In the years following the ceremony that bonded Taurus to the bull's amulet, Valentia blossomed into a realm of unmatched splendor. The land, nurtured by the ancient magic of the amulet, and the wise stewardship of its guardian, bore witness to an era of prosperity and peace. Fields laden with golden grain stretched as far as the eye could see. Orchards bore fruit as sweet as honey, and the rivers flowed clear and pure, teeming with fish. The harmony of the land was mirrored in the lives of its people. Villages flourished, laughter and music filled the air, and the people of Rodentia worked hand in hand, their hearts and hopes intertwined. The bond between Taurus and the land was a source of constant wonder and gratitude. Farmers would find their fields blessed with abundant harvests, and in times of need, it was said that Taurus' touch alone could heal the sick and soothe the weary. His presence brought comfort and strength, a reminder of the earth's bounty and the enduring power of unity. Taurus, for his part, found joy in his guardianship. He runs the land, a protector, not just of the amulet, but of the people and the natural world. His connection to the earth was deepened through his bond with the amulet, allowing him to commune with the land in ways that were the subject of many a tale around the fireside. Children would listen, wide-eyed, as their parents spoke of Taurus calming storms with a word or coaxing life from barren ground with a touch. Yet for all its beauty and joy, this era of harmony was but a fragile jewel in the face of darkness. Taurus knew this truth deep in his bones, a constant weight that tempered his every joy. The amulet, for all its power to bring life and prosperity, was also a beacon to those who crave such power for their own ends. Taurus, a vigilance was ceaseless, a guardian not just against the physical threats that might come from beyond the realm, but against the creeping tendrils of complacency and forgetfulness that could erode the land from within. The people of Verdantia, blessed by the land's bounty for the protection of Taurus, lived in a state of grace. They honored the earth, celebrated the cycles of growth, and remembered the ancient pacts that bound them to each other and to the guardian of the amulet. Festivals marking the seasons were occasions of great joy, where the story of the bull's amulet and Taurus' role as its protector was recounted, a living myth that bound the past to the present and the present to the future. In this time of harmony, Verdantia was a beacon of light and life, a testament to the power of protection, stewardship, and the deep, unbreakable bonds of community. Yet, as the wheel of the year turned, shadows gathered on the horizon. A reminder that light and darkness are forever intertwined. The peace of Verdantia, so lovingly nurtured, would soon be tested, and Taurus would face the greatest challenge of his guardianship. As the wheel of the year once again brought the harvest to Verdantia's door, a night like no other descended upon the realm. It was a night where the moon hid away, as if fearful of the darkness that crept over the land, a darkness not seen in many generations. Taurus, ever vigilant, felt the uneasy stirrings of the earth, a whisper of warning carried on the wind. A harmony that had so long graced Verdantia was threatened, a shadow looming at the edge of perception. With a heart heavy with foreboding, Taurus walked the perimeter of the land. Under the cloak of night, his senses attuned to the slightest shift in the natural order. The animals of the forest, usually so vibrant and full of life, were silent, as though holding their breath in anticipation. The very air seemed to thicken, charged with an unseen tension. It was then, in the deepest hours of the night, that the unthinkable occurred. From the shadows, a figure emerged, cloaked in darkness so deep it seemed to swallow the light around it. This was no ordinary thief, but a being of ancient malice, drawn to the power of the bull's amulet with desires as dark as the night itself, using Taurus long forbidden and forgotten. The thief bypassed the ancient protections that guarded the amulet, slipping through Taurus, defenses like a whisper through the trees. Taurus, alerted by a sudden chill in his heart, raced back to the sanctuary where the amulet was kept. But he was too late. The doors, wrought from the strongest iron and sealed with magic, stood ajar, the protective spells shattered. Inside, the pedestal that had rattled, the amulet was empty, its absence a gaping wound in the fabric of the land. The guardian's roar of defiance and despair echoed through the night, a sound that would be remembered in the tales of Verdantia for generations to come. It was a sound that marked the end of an era, the beginning of a quest that would determine the fate of the realm. And in the immediate aftermath, a palpable sense of loss enveloped Verdantia. The land itself seemed to mourn, the rivers slowing their flow, the fields losing their luster. Taurus, with the weight of his failure bearing down upon him, stood amidst the ruins of the sanctuary, the burden of his next steps heavy upon his shoulders. Bond broke on a land changed, its harmony fractured. The theft of the bull's amulet was not just a physical loss, a spiritual one, severing the deep connection between the land and its people. Yet, even in the depths of despair, a flame of resolve was kindled within Taurus. He would not allow this darkness to consume Verdantia. He would retrieve the amulet no matter the cost. The story of that night, the Night of Shadows, would become a turning point in the legend of Taurus the Protector. It was the moment when the Guardian became a warrior, setting forth on a journey that would test his strength, his courage, and his heart. For the fate of Verdantia rested in his hands, and he would move heaven and earth to restore the light to his beloved land. In the cold light of dawn, Verdantia woke to a world altered, its heart torn away in the darkness of the night. The theft of Bull's amulet had cast a shadow over the land, its loss felt by every creature, every leaf, and every whispering wind. The vibrant hues of the fields seemed dimmed, and the once restful, blue rivers flowed with a hint of sorrow. The harmony that had been Verdantian's lifeblood was fractured, leaving a palpable emptiness in its wake. Taurus, standing amidst the remnants of the sun, to Prora's broken doors, felt the weight of failure pressing down upon him. The amulet was not just a personal defeat, but a calamity for the land he had sworn to protect. The once unbreakable bond between guardian and realm was severed, leaving a void where once there was a wellspring of mutual strength. That within Taurus, the flame of resolve burned brighter than ever. This was not the end, but the beginning of a quest that would forge his legacy. The Guardian's first steps on this journey were heavy with uncertainty. Verdantia, so long sheltered under the Android's benevolent power, was vulnerable. Taurus knew the road ahead would be fraught with danger, for the thief who had taken the amulet was no ordinary foe, but one first so dark stories. The path to reclaiming the amulet was veiled in mystery, its location hidden, its thief a shadow that danced just beyond the edge of thought. Gathering his resolve, Taurus made his way to the elders, the keepers of Verdantia's ancient post. In the great hall, where the walls themselves seemed to mourn the loss of the amulet, the elders awaited, their eyes reflecting the turmoil that had befallen the land. They had seen the signs, read the portents, and knew that Taurus' quest was Verdantia's only hope. The elders spoke in an ancient prophecy, a sliver of hope in the darkness. The path to reclaiming the amulet would be revealed to Taurus, but it would demand every ounce of his strength, courage, and wisdom. He would need to journey beyond the borders of Verdantia, into lands uncharted and fraught with perils. Allies would be found in unexpected places, and challenges would test the very fabric of his spirit. With the elders, the blessings and the hopes of all Verdantia resting upon his shoulders, Taurus set forth. His departure was marked by the silent prayers of the people, their faith in their guardian unwavering. The quest for the bull's amulet was more of the mission to recover a lost treasure. It was a fight to restore the soul of the land, to mend the broken harmony, and to return hope to a rank teetering on the brink of despair. The story of Taurus' journey, with the trials he faced and the allies he found, would become the stuff of legend, a tale of heroism, sacrifice, and the unyielding power of the spirit. For Taurus was not just a guardian, but a symbol of Verdantia's, indomitable will to survive and thrive in the face of darkness. As Taurus vanished into the horizon, silhouette a lone figure against the rising sun, a new chapter in the saga of Verdantia began. The quest to reclaim the bull's amulet was more than a journey across lands. It was a journey into the heart of what it means to protect, to love, and to fight for what is right. And so, the tale of Taurus the Protector took its first steps into legend. A story of loss and hope, darkness and light. A journey that would decide the fate of Verdantia and its people. With the conclusion of Chapter 1, Taurus embarks on his epic quest, setting the stage for the adventures and trials that await in The Quest Begins. Chapter 2, The Quest Begins. In the heart of Verdantia, where the ancient oaks stood as silent witnesses to the passage of time, the elders gathered in the great hall, their faces etched with lines of wisdom and concern. Taurus, his resolve a visible cloak around him, stood before them, ready to hear the words that would set his path. The hall, usually a place of joy and celebration, was somber, the air thick with the weight destiny. The eldest among the elders, a sage of untold years whose eyes held the depth of the land itself, stepped forward. His voice, though frail, carried the strength of the earth, echoing off the ancient stone walls. Taurus, protector of Verdantia. The theft of the bull's amulet has set in motion events foretold in the prophecies of old. The darkness spreads, the shadow over the heart of our land, and with each passing day, its grip tightens. He paused, allowing his words to sink in, then continued. The prophecy speaks of a hero, one who stands against the coming night, a guardian whose heart is true. Taurus, it speaks of you. You must embark on a quest to retrieve the amulet, for without it, Verdantia will succumb to famine and ruin. The land's prosperity is bound to the amulet, as is its fate. Another elder, her voice at the gentle rustle of leaves, added, "Path will not be easy, Taurus. The prophecy foretells of trials who will test your spirit and strength. It also speaks of allies, beings of this land and beyond, who will stand by your side. Trust in the earth and the bond that ties you to Verdantia, for it will guide you when the way seems lost." A hush fell over the hall as the elders presented Taurus with an ancient map, its edges worn by time. The ink faded, but the path clear. "This map will lead you to the edge of our lands," the eldest elder explained. "Beyond lies the unknown, realms where the fabric of magic weaves strange and wondrous tales. Your journey begins at the break of dawn, under the sign of the awakening sun." Taurus accepted the map, his fingers tracing the lines that marked his journey, each twist, and turned a step towards the unknown. The weight of his task lay heavy on his shoulders, but within him burned a fire, fueled by love for his land and his people. As the meeting came to an end, the elders formed a circle around Taurus, their voices rising in an ancient chant, a blessing for protection and strength. The sound filled the hall, a melody as old as the land itself, weaving a spell of courage and hope around the guardian. With the dawn, Taurus set forth, leaving the safety of Verdantia's borders behind. The land seemed to hold its breath, watching her. Its protector embarked on a quest that would decide its fate. The prophecy of the elders, a beacon in the darkness, guided Taurus' steps, leading him into the heart of the unknown. The quest to reclaim the bull's amulet had begun, a journey fraught with peril, but also with the promise of hope. For in the tales of old, it is always the darkest hour that precedes the dawn, and in Taurus' heart, the dawn's light burned bright, a beacon against the shadows that threatened to engulf his beloved land. With the prophecy of the elders as his guide, Taurus stepped into the unknown, the fate of Verdantia resting on the success of his quest. The journey would be long with challenges many, but the guardian spirit was indomitable, his resolve unbreakable, for he was Taurus, protector of Verdantia. And this was his story. As Taurus ventured beyond the familiar borders of Verdantia, the land beneath his feet whispered tales of ancient magic. His path led him to the threshold of the enchanted forest, a realm where the trees danced with the wind, and the air shimmered with unseen forces. It was a place of wonder and peril, where few Verdantia's folk dared to tread. Yet Taurus, guided by the prophecy and his unwavering resolve, stepped into the embrace of the forest without hesitation. The forest greeted him with a chorus of whispers, leaves rustling secrets in a language only the heart could understand. Taurus, attuned to the voice of the land, listened. It was not long before he realized he was not alone on his journey. The enchanted forest, alive with the spirit of the earth, offered allies to aid him in his quest. First to join him was Corin, a wise owl whose feathers glowed with a soft, ethereal light. Corin had watched over the enchanted forest for centuries, his eyes seeing beyond the veil of time. He had seen the shadow fall over Verdantia and knew the importance of Taurus, guardian of Verdantia, or removed it from the boughs of an ancient oak. The forest stands with you. My wings will guide you through the darkness. As to pledge their allegiance was Lyra, a swift deer, the embodiment of grace and agility. Her coat shimmered with the colors of the forest, blending seamlessly into the dappled light. Lyra had felt the tremors of despair that shook the land, but with a heart full of hope, offered her speed and knowledge of the forest's hidden paths to Taurus. Have my oaths carry you faster to your destiny. Protector, she vowed, her eyes bright with determination. The final ally to emerge from the shadows was Fenrir, a fearless wolf with a coat as dark as the night sky. Fenrir's loyalty was the stealth of legends, his strength unmatched by any within the forest's bounds. He had sensed the fracture in the bond between land and guardian, and knew his might would serve Taurus well. "My fangs and claws are yours to command, Taurus," Fenrir growled, his stance one of unwavering solidarity. "Together we shall reclaim what has been lost." With these three allies by his side, Taurus felt a surge of confidence. The enchanted forest, with all its mystery and ancient magic, had acknowledged the righteousness of his quest and had bestowed upon him companions of great power and wisdom. Taurus, from the sky, would provide insight and perspective. Lyra, swift and silent, would lead them through the thickest woods with grace. Fenrir, with his strength and courage, would protect them from the dangers that lurked in the shadows. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, the bond between Taurus and his newfound allies grew stronger. They moved as one, a testament to the unity that had always been Verdanti's greatest strength. The challenges they faced, from navigating through treacherous terrain to confronting the creatures that dwelled in the dark recesses of the forest, were met with a combined might that no obstacle could withstand. The journey through the enchanted forest was but the first of many trials Taurus would face. It was here, among the ancient trees and whispered secrets, that the foundation of his quest was forged. In the unity of guardian and allies, the prophecy of the elders found its first breath of life, a beacon of hope that illuminated the path ahead. The tale of Taurus' passage through the enchanted forest. Accompanied by poem, Lyra, Yerine will be recanted in songs and stories. With the power of the served up for in the darkest of times, it is the light of allies that guides us through. The truth that Taurus as he journeyed forth, ever closer to the heart of the shadow that threatened his beloved Verdantia. Beyond the verdant embrace of the enchanted forest, where the trees whispered farewell to Taurus and his valiant companions, the land unfurled into the vast expanse of the shifting sands. Here, amidst tombs that danced with the wind, stood the ancient Sphinx, guardian of secrets long buried beneath the sands of time. It was here that Taurus and his allies faced their next trial, a challenge of light and wisdom laid down by the ages. A sphinx, a majestic creature with the body of a lion and the head of a woman, sat unmoving at the heart of the desert. Her eyes, ageless and deep, held the mysteries of the world, and her voice, when it broke the silence, carried the weight of centuries. Travelers of the quest, seekers of the lost, to find what you seek, you must first answer my riddles 3. Fail or be turned back, succeed, and the path forward shall be revealed. Taurus stepped forward, the resolve in his heart aflame against the vastness of the desert. Beside him, Lyra and Fenrir stood ready, the faith in their guardian unshaken. The Sphinx regarded them with a gaze that pierced the veils of the soul, then spoke her first riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. Why am I? Horim, with his wisdom born of countless moons, whispered into Taurus' ear. The answer she seeks is an echo. Trusting in Nicole's ancient knowledge, Taurus replied, an echo. The Sphinx's lips curved in a semblance of a smile, and she paused her second reel. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I? This time, it was Fenrir, with his keen instincts, who sensed the answer lurking within the riddle's layers. The joke? He growled softly to Taurus, who repeated the answer with confidence. The Sphinx's eyes gleamed with a light that spoke of challenges yet to come, and she delivered her final riddle. I walk on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening. What am I? Taurus, recalling the tales of old, the stories woven into the fabric of Verdantia, the answer to this ancient question. A man, he declared in his voice, echoing across the shifting sands. Then the morning of his life, he crawls on all 4s. In the noon, he walks on 2 legs. In the evening of his life, he uses a cane, walking on 3. The Sphinx, her riddles answered, bowed her great head in acknowledgement of their wisdom and courage. Well answered, guardians of the quest. The path you seek lies within the heart of the desert, where the oasis of whispers holds the key to your next trial. Go forth with the wisdom of the ages as your guide. With the Sphinx were to solved, Taurus and his companions felt a renewed sense of purpose. The trials they faced, though daunting, were steps on the path to reclaiming what was lost. Each challenge a testament to their determination and the strength of their bonds. The oasis of whispers awaited, its secrets veiled in the shadows of the desert. But for Taurus and his allies, no secret was too deep, no challenge too great. The tale of their encounter with the Sphinx, a story of wit and wisdom, it beat many in the saga of their quest. For in the heart of the desert, under the gaze of the ancient Sphinx, they had proven themselves worthy seekers of the lost amulet, their spirits undimmed by the trials ahead. Leaving the shifting sands and the wisdom of the ancient Sphinx behind, Taurus and his steadfast companions ventured into the realm of the stormy plains. This vast expanse of land, known to few and feared by many, was a testament to nature's untamed power. Here, the winds howled like the cries of 1,000 spirits, and the rain fell with the force of a ceaseless torrent, as if the very heavens sought to cleanse the world below. The journey across the stormy plains was a trial like no other. The relentless wind to sweep them off their feet, and the rain obscured their vision, turning the ground beneath them into a treacherous mire. Yet Taurus, with the resolve of a guardian whose heart was bound to his land, led its people led the way. Beside him, Corim, Loran, and Fenrir matched his steps, their spirits united against the storm's fury. Orin, with his wings battered by the winds, flew ahead, his keen eyes searching for shelter amidst the tempest. Lyra, her sure and swift, found paths where none seemed to exist, her instinct for surviving a beacon in the relentless gloom. Fenrir, his strength undiminished by the storm's assault, stood guard, his presence a comforting assurance of safety and protection. Together, they navigated the stormy plains, their bond a light in the darkness, their courage a defiance of the storm's wrath. The plains, vast and unforgiving, tested their resolve, each step a battle against the elements. Yet with every challenge they faced, their determination grew, forged in the heart of the storm, unbroken and indomitable. It was on the 3rd night, when the storm's fury seemed unending, that they found refuge in the shadow of a great cliff, its face carved by the winds into a testament of the plains to power. Ancient power. Here, they sheltered, their bodies weary but their spirits undaunted. As they rested, the storm's voice, once a roar of challenge, became a whisper of respect. The land itself, recognizing the strength and unity of Taurus and his companions, offered a moment of respite, A pause in the tempest's onslaught. The quiet of the storm's eye. Taurus reflected on the journey that had led them to this moment, the trials they had faced, from the enchanted forest's mass depths to the ancient Sphinx's riddles. And now the tempests of the stormy plains were not merely obstacles but lessons. Each step, each challenge, brought them closer to their goal, not just in distance, but in understanding its strength lay not in standing alone, but in standing together. As dawn broke, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, the storm abated, leaving the pines washed clean, a world reborn. Taurus and his companions emerged from their shelter, their resolve renewed, their spirits lifted by the promise of a new day. The stormy plains, with its fierce winds and relentless rain, had sought to thwart their progress, but together they had persevered. The journey across the stormy plains would be remembered as a testament to their unbreakable will, a story of unity in the face of adversity. For Taurus, Torin, Lyra, and Fenrir, the plains were not a memory of struggle, but a symbol of their strength, a reminder that even the fiercest storm could not dim the light of their determination. With the storm behind them and the oasis of whispers calling to their hearts, Taurus and his companions set forth once more. Their path, lit by the dawn's first light, led ever onward, each step a stride towards destiny, towards the recovery of the lost amulet and the restoration of Verdenchi's prosperity. After trickling to the tempestuous wrath of the stormy plains, Taurus and his companions, guided by the wisdom of the ages and the unwavering bond of their fellowship, ventured towards the next beacon on their quest. The path, illuminated by the nascent light of dawn, whispered of a place shrouded in mystery and veiled in the mists of legend, a hidden valley of echoes. It was said that this secluded vale held secrets as old as time itself, secrets that held the key to the whereabouts of the amulet that throbbed at the heart of their journey. Nestled within the embrace of towering cliffs that sliced the sky with their jagged peaks, the hidden Valley of Echoes was a world untouched by the passage of time. Its entrance was a narrow passage, cloaked in the shadows of overhanging vines, a silent sentinel guarding the mysteries within. As they entered, the air chummed with an ancient power, the whisper of leaves and the babble of streams intertwining to form a chorus of whispers, echoing the valley's name. In the heart of the valley, where the echoes converged into a symphony of voices, Taurus found himself standing before a pool of water, clear as crystal and still as the air before dawn. The surface mirrored the sky above, a canvas of clouds adrift in an azure sea. Though was here, the legends whispered, that one must face the reflections of their deepest fears and doubts to uncover the truths they seek. Taurus, with the courage that had defined his journey, gazed into the pool's depths. The water, responding to the presence of a heart both brave and true, began to shimmer, revealing visions that danced upon the surface. Taurus saw Verdentia, its lands, barren and its people lost, a realm succumbing to the shadow of despair. He saw himself standing alone against the tide of darkness, the weight of failure, a heavy chain upon his shoulders. The visions, though fearsome, could not sway the resolve of Verdantia's guardian. With each doubt that surfaced, Taurus confronted it with the strength of his conviction, the unwavering belief in his mission, and the love he bore for his land and its people. The boldness, sensing the purity and strength of his heart, shifted beyond ominous visions. From the depths of the pool, a new vision emerged, a beacon of hope amidst the shadows of fear. Taurus saw the amulet, its light dim, ordering extinction rattled in the heart of a labyrinthine cave, guarded by the shadows and hidden from the unworthy. The vision was a gift, a guide to the final piece of the puzzle that lay at the end of their quest. With the knowledge of the amulet, the occasion edged in his heart, Taurus emerged from the pool's embrace, his spirit fortified by the trials he had faced. The hidden Valley of Echoes, with its ancient magic and whispered secrets, had tested him, not through battles of strength, but through the confrontation of his innermost fears. It was a trial by spirit, and in overcoming it, Taurus found not only the path to the amulet, but a deeper understanding of the strength that lay within him. A strength born of courage, unity, and the unbreakable bond with his land. Reunited with Coringer and Fenhor, who had watched over him with unwavering faith, Taurus shared the revelation granted by the valley's ancient magic. Together they set forth from the hidden Valley of Echoes, the resolve like a beacon in the night, guiding them towards the labyrinthine cave that held the key to Prudentia's salvation. The journey was far from over, but with each step, they moved closer to reclaiming what was lost. Their hearts buoyed by the knowledge that even in the darkest of times, hope remained, a light undimmed by the shadows of doubt. With the knowledge of the amulet, whose location nestled within their hearts, Taurus and his companions ventured forth from the hidden Valley of Echoes, their spirits alight with renewed purpose. The path that lay before them twisted and turned, leading them deeper into the heart of a land that whispered of ancient magics and untold mysteries. It was here in the shadow of the world's edge that they encountered the final guardian of their quest, a trial of courage designed to test the mettle of those who dared to reclaim the lost amulet of Verdantia. The trial took shape in a realm where reality blurred with the ethereal, a place that seemed to exist between the beats of the heart and the breath of the wind. Here, the very fabric of the air shimmered with a power that beckoned Taurus and his allies to step forward and face their destiny. As they entered this realm, the world around them dissolved into darkness, leaving each of them isolated in their own sphere of shadow. It was in this solitude that the trial of courage began, a challenge not of physical might, but of the strength that resides within the soul. To Taurus, the darkness conjured visions of Verdantia laid to waste. This land's barren, its people lies to despair. A future that could come to pass should he fail in his quest. The fear that gripped his heart was not for his own fate, but for the fate of the land and people he had sworn to protect. Yet within him burned a light, a beacon of hope and determination that no shadow could extinguish. With a voice firm and unwavering, he declared his resolve to face whatever trials lay ahead. For the love of Verdantia was his shield and his strength. Corin, the wise owl, faced the echoes of time, the countless cycles of growth and decay, the weight of the ages bearing down upon him. His trial was to see beyond the immediate, and that courage was not just in action, but in the wisdom to guide those actions. With a clarity born of his ancient spirit, Corin spread his wings, embracing the vastness of time as the path to wisdom. There the swift deer found herself amidst a tempest, the world around her a blur of chaos and danger. Her trial lay in the fear of losing her way, of being overwhelmed by the storms that life can bring. Let her heart pure and steadfast, even in midst of turmoil. There is a path forward for those with the courage to seek it. With a leap, she danced through the tempest, her grace a testament to the strength found in facing one's fears. Fenrir, the fearless wolf, stood alone against the shadows of doubt, the whispers that sought to undermine his strength and resolve. His trial was to confront the fear of not being in it. That Fenrir's spirit, fierce and unyielding, rose above the shadows. His held a declaration that courage was not the absence of fear, but the determination to stand in the face of it. Together, yet apart, Taurus and his companions faced their trials, each confronting the fears that lay deep within their hearts. And as they emerged victorious, the darkness receded, revealing a path lit by the glow of their courage. A path that led them ever closer to the amulet. The trial of courage was more than a test. It was a transformation, a forging of spirit that prepared them for the challenges to come. For in proving their hearts pure and their spirits unyielding, Taurus and his allies had shown that they were not just seekers of the amulet, but guardians of a legacy of Verdantia, the land of hope, courage. Chapter 3: The Final Stand. For enduring trials that tested their courage, wisdom, in the very essence of their spirits, Taurus and his steadfast companions stood at the threshold of the final chapter in their epic quest. The path, guided by the trials they had overcome, and the secrets unveiled in the hidden valley of echoes, led them to a realm where shadows whispered and darkness breathed. The lair of a shadow thief. This place, veiled in a darkness so profound, seemed to swallow light itself, was the heart of the corruption that had spread its tendrils across Verdania. The air was thick with malice, and the ground beneath their feet pulsed with a malevolent energy. It was here, in the den of their greatest adversary, that Taurus and his allies would face the ultimate challenge. A battle not just for the bull's amulet, but for the fate of the land they had sworn to protect. As they stepped into the lair, the darkness coalesced into form, shadows twisting into the figure of the shadow thief. This being, a creature of nightmare and despair, stood before them, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent light. "So, the guardian and his pitiful band have come," the thief sneered, his voice a cold whisper that slithered through the air. "You are too late. The power of the amulet is mine, and with it, Verdantia shall fall." Taurus, undaunted by the thief's words, stepped forward, his resolve a blazing beacon in the oppressive gloom. The Duchess' heart is strong, and its people united. He declared, his voice ringing with the strength of his conviction. "We will not let darkness consume our land. The amulet belongs to Verdantia, and we will reclaim it, for the sake of all who call it home." The battle that ensued was a clash of light against shadow, a tumultuous struggle that shook the very foundations of the lair. Taurus, with Orion soaring above, Liver, darting through the shadows, and Fenrir at his side, fought with a ferocity and determination born of their unwavering commitment to their cause. The shadow thief, wielding the stolen power of the amulet, unleashed waves of darkness, seeking to overwhelm them, to extinguish the light they carried. Yet, for every shadow that surged, a counterblast of light met it. Orion's wisdom guided their strikes. Hera's agility evaded the tendrils of darkness, and Fenrir's strength shattered the barriers that stood in their way. Taurus, at the heart of the battle, was the anchor that held them steadfast, his sword a conduit for the hope and courage that Verdantia had entrusted to him. The lair itself became a battleground of light and shadow, each clash a testament to the struggle between hope and despair, unity and division. The shadow thief, for all his stolen power, could not quell the spirit of those who fought not for dominion or glory, but for the love of their land and its people. In the end, it was the purity of their purpose, the unbreakable bond between them, that turned the tide. The shadow thief, faced with the indomitable will of Taurus and his allies, faltered, his shadows dissipating as the stolen power of the amulet was wrested from his grasp. With a final desperate shriek, the thief was consumed by his own darkness, leaving behind only the amulet, its light dimmed by him extinguished. Taurus, stepping forward, lifted the amulet from the ground, its warmth spreading through his hands, a sign that the heart of Verdantia still beat strong. The darkness of the lair receded, chased away by the burgeoning light of dawn that crept through the cracks and crevices, heralding the end of the night. The lair of the Shadow Thief, once a place of despair and darkness, was now a testament to the triumph of courage, unity, and the unyielding spirit of those who stand in defense of their home. Taurus and his companions, though weary from the battle, stood tall, the amulet in their possession, and the dawn of a new day breaking over Verdantia, a den that promised restoration, renewal, and the enduring light of hope. The narrative of the confrontation between Taurus and the Shadow Thief within the lair. Shadowed depths forms the heart of their final stand, an epic moment where the fate of Verdantia hung in the balance. This moment, the battle of wills, was more than a clash of strength. It was a confrontation between the light of hope and the darkness of despair. As Taurus stood face to face with the Shadow Thief, the air crackled with the power of opposing wills. The thief, emboldened by the darkness that clung to him like a second skin, unleashed a torrent of shadow, each wave aimed to quench the light within Taurus and his companions. But Taurus, with the resolve that had carried him through trials and tribulations, met each attack with the strength of his conviction, his blade cutting through the darkness, a beacon for his allies. On, the wise owl circled above, his keen eyes piercing the gloom, guiding Taurus with his wisdom. With each beat of his wings, he dispelled the shadows, revealing the thief's intentions. Lyra, swift and agile, darted through the fray, her movements a dance of light, her presence a distraction that the thief could not ignore. Fenrir, with a growl that echoed the fury of the storm they had faced, launched himself at the shadows, his fangs and claws rending the darkness, his courage a shield for his companions. Together, they wove a tapestry of light and shadow, a battle that was as much about the strength of their spirits as it was about the clash of arms. The Shadow Thief, for all his power, found himself matched at every turn, his darkness repelled by the unity and resolve of those who stood against him. The turning point came when Taurus, rallying his strength for a final assault, called upon the very essence of Verdantia, who land he had sworn to protect. His voice, lifted in a call to the earth, the sky, and the waters, summoned the power of the realm itself. The amulet, responding to the call of its true guardian, began to glow with a radiant light. Its power mirrored to the heart of Verdantia. With a cry that merged the strength of his will with the power of the land, Taurus struck, his blade guided by the light of the amulet. The impact was like the breaking of a storm, a release of energy that illuminated the lair, driving the shadows back, stripping the Shadow Thief of his stolen power. The thief, his form under the assault of light, could not withstand the unity of purpose and strength that confronted him. And it was not merely the force of Taurus's blow, but the unyielding will of a guardian, supported by the love of his land and a bond with his companions that sealed the thief's defeat. As the shadow that was the thief dissipated, leaving behind only the dim amulet, a profound silence filled the lair. The battle had ended, not with the clashing of swords, but with the reaffirmation of hope, courage, and unity. Taurus, holding the amulet aloft, felt its warmth seep into his being, a sign of Verdantia's acknowledgement and gratitude. Around him, Corin, Lyra, and Fenrir shared in the moment of triumph, their spirits lifted by the knowledge that together they had turned the tide of darkness. The battle of wills, a confrontation that had tested their resolve, ended with the reaffirmation of their strength and the purity of their spirits. They had faced their deepest fears, stood firm against the darkness, and emerged victorious. This victory was not just Taurus, but Verdantia's, a testament to the enduring power of unity in the indomitable spirit of its people. In the aftermath of the Battle of Wheels, with the darkness of the Shadow Thief vanquished, Taurus stood triumphant, the bull's amulet rattled gently in his hands. The amulet, once dim and muted by the thief's corrupting touch, began to pulse with a renewed light, its glow a testament to the purity and strength of the will that had acclaimed it. Around Taurus, his faithful companions watched in Allah's power, intertwined with the very essence of Verdantia, began to radiate outward, a beacon of hope and renewal. As the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, piercing the shadows that had shrouded the lair, the light of the amulet reached out across the land. Where it touched, the blight that had crept across Verdantia, wilting crops and darkening waters, began to recede. Dogs that had lain barren whispered with the strings of new life. Rivers cleared to reveal the pure waters beneath, and forests once muted and withered burst into a chorus of green, a symphony of rebirth. Taurus, witnessing the restoration unfolding before his eyes, felt a deep connection to the land, a bond forged through the trials faced and the battles won. The amulet in its awakening spoke to him, its voice the melody of Verdantia itself, a song of gratitude and strength. It was as if the land itself breathed a sigh of relief, its heart beating once more in harmony with the lives of those who called it home. The people of Verdantia, who had endured the shadow of despair, now watched as their world was reborn before their eyes. From the smallest village to the greatest city, joy and wonder spread like wildfire, a celebration of life renewed. Tales of Taurus and his companions, heroism of their journey through darkness to bring back the light, were told, and a legend woven into the fabric of Verdantia's history. In the days that followed, Taurus, accompanied by Corin, Lyra, and Fankar, returned to the heart of Verdantia. They were met with cheers and tears of joy, the people coming forth to witness the return of the amulet and to honor the guardians who had fought so valiantly for their future. The king, wise and just, welcomed them with open arms, declaring a feast in their honor, a celebration that would be remembered for generations. As the festivities unfolded, Taurus stood before the people, the amulet held high. In that moment, the connection between guardian and land, protector and people was reaffirmed, a covenant of mutual respect and love. The amulet, once more vibrant symbol of Verdantian's heart, was placed in its sacred sanctuary, its light a constant reminder of the courage, unity, a hope that had saved the land. Verdantia, healed and whole once more, flourished. The crops grew tall and bountiful, the forest teemed with life, and the rivers sang songs of joy. Prosperity, long a dream in the shadow of despair, was now a reality, a daily testament to the strength of those who stand in defense of their home. The restoration of the amulet, a moment when darkness was turned to light, when despair gave way to hope, would be celebrated in Verdantia for all time. Taurus, Corin, Lyra, and Fenrir, their names inscribed in the annals of the kingdom, were not just heroes but symbols of the indomitable spirit of the land and its people. Together, they had faced the darkness, and together, they had brought back the light, a legacy of courage and love that would shine as brightly as the amulet for generations to come. In the wake of the amulet's restoration, Verd entered an era of unparalleled prosperity and peace. A land nourished by the amulet's magic and the love of its people, yielded harvests more bountiful than any remembered in the annals of history. Fields of golden grain stretched under azure skies, orchards bore fruit so abundant that branches bowed in humble offering, and the rivers flowed clear and free, teeming with life. The people of Verdantia, From the humblest farmer to the noblest lord, rejoiced in the land's renewal, their hearts light with the joy of a future secured. Villages and towns, once marred by the shadow of despair, now thrived as centers of commerce and community. Markets overflowed with the bounty of the land, and the laughter of children filled the air, a melody of hope for the days to come. Unity fostered through the trials faced to reclaim the amulets, strengthening the bonds between neighbors and friends, creating a tapestry of community that enveloped the land in warmth and love. Peace, the most delicate and precious of gifts, blossomed under the vigilant watch of Taurus and his companions. The memory of darkness served not as a specter of fear, but as a reminder of the strength found in unity and the power of hope. With the amulets light as their guide, the people of Rhodesia walked paths of peace, their days marked by the simple choice of life in harmony with the land and each other. The legacy of Taurus, the guardian whose heart had never wavered in the face of darkness, became a beacon for Rhodesia. This story, woven into the fabric of the land's history, was told and retold for generations. A tale of courage, dedication, Taurus' journey, from the humble fields of his youth to the epic quest that had saved Rhodesia, inspired songs, stories, and legends that filled the hearts of the people with pride and gratitude. Children grew up on tales of Taurus and his companions. Orin, the wise owl whose sight pierced through deception, Lyra, the swift deer whose grace was matched only by her courage, Nilfenmir, the fearless wolf was loyal to knew no bounds. Together, he embodied the virtues that Rhodesia dear wisdom, courage, grace, community. Their legacy was a lesson to all, a call to protect and cherish the prosperity and harmony of the land. Monuments were raised in their honor, stone and statues standing as silent guardians of the memory of their deeds. Each year, the people of Rhodesia celebrated the Day of the Amulet, a festival that commemorated the return of the amulet and the heroes who had made it possible. It was a day of joy, reflection, and renewal, a promise from each generation to the next that the lessons of the past would not be forgotten. The legacy of Taurus etched into the heart of Rhodesia was more than the tale of a hero's journey. It was a guiding light, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, courage and human light, that taught that each person, no matter how humble their beginnings, could make a difference, could stand against the shadows and fight for the light. And so Rhodesia thrived, a land of prosperity and peace, watched over by the legacy of its guardian, the story of Taurus, and the bull's amulet, a story of bravery, dedication, and the enduring power of hope, continued to inspire, a timeless trace that whispered to the hearts of all tomorrow. In serenity, there is Taurus,